This is just a quick tutorial on how to add games to a math trade. I'm assuming that you have an ID on BoardGameGeek and that you've gone to the online want list generator and signed up and gotten an ID and registered, whatever it is you need to do there. It's been so long since I've done that I don't actually remember what you need to do. To add games to a math trade, you have a couple of choices. I'll use our math trade here for this upcoming board gaming thing as an example. You can see on the screen this is the website page on BoardGameGeek for the math trade. And the simplest way to add stuff, of course, is to just scroll down from the top of the page and click that button that says Add Item. You can choose what to add. You can add anything, role-playing game, board game, video game. You can call it whatever you like. The simplest thing, of course, is if you're adding a board game, to choose board game. So you click on board game, and then some more information pops up down here at the bottom where you can enter the details. So say, for example, that I had Doom. Just type in Doom. Wait a second, it searches for all the Dooms, and I can choose what it is I want to add in a trade. If I have a different version of this game, then I might click here and choose a different image. Maybe I have a picture of my own version in my personal gallery. If you know what that means, great. If not, you can ignore it. But if you have the image ID, then you could enter that ID number here. But this interface allows me to scroll through, hundreds, thousands, how many ever pictures there are, and pick the one I want, or just use the default game image, which is what's showing here. In this case, I'll just click this other thing, put that image there for now. Okay, and then in the text area, you can enter in all the details. Now, it doesn't necessarily need to have a lot of information, but if there were multiple editions, you might enter which edition you have. If there's any damage, enter that in. Just anything that will help the person looking at this know whether they want it or not. In particular, if there were multiple languages, you want to make sure that you note down what language your game is in. So, for example, I could say English edition. I'll just make up a year. I don't know what year this was from, but it'll say 2004 edition, and it's still in shrink. So once you enter your details, you would hit the Save button. It will be added back to that geek list. Okay, that's one way to add items to the math trade list, and that's sort of the usual way to add items to any geek list. The other way is to use the online want list generator itself. But in order for that to work, you have to, of course, have an ID again on BoardGameGeek, but you also have to have kept track of the games that you want to offer for trade on BoardGameGeek. So, for example, and the Doom the board game entry, you would have said that presumably you own it. You just click the checkbox and then click the box that it is for trade. The other checkboxes are useful if you are going to spend some time on BoardGameGeek, but there's no point in talking about that now. Okay? So once you've done that for all the games that you own, that you want to trade at least, then you go to the online want list generator website, which is here. And when you get into it, you might have to navigate to the specific math trade, but I periodically sync this, and you should have a list of your active math trades, meaning trades that you have offered games for. And you'll have a list of those, and then under each is a bunch of icons. You may not have all these options. I have, I think, a few extra. The Resync with Geek list here, and the edit info are there only because I'm the one who set up this math trade list. But otherwise, you should have these graphic buttons. And the first one is what you click to add or offer games in this math trade. So I'm going to click that. And then you have some options. A new window pops up, and you can select from this checkbox, or I'm sorry, from this drop-down, one of these several options. If you had participated in previous math trades, then the online wine list generator keeps track of all those, and you can select from one of those, and that will bring up all the games that you had offered in the previous math trade, and then you can offer them again in this math trade, or you can pick and choose which ones you like. Or you can use your BGG collection data. In order to use your BGG collection data, which is all those checky boxes about what games you own, what games you have for trade, what games you want for trade, etc., you need to sync your collection with the online wine list generator, and the link for that is go to the home page, and if you need to have it resync your collection data with what's on BoardGameGeek, you click on the appropriate link on the home page. Alright, but once you do that, you'll have this sort of list, and you can make whatever comments you like, the same comments describing the condition of the game, etc., and then click the button at the bottom that says add to this geek list, and it won't add it right away. It'll instead bring up that same dialog box that we were using a minute ago to add the games individually, and that'll allow you to further customize your entry, reformat it if you like, add some bold text, whatever it is you want. But you can enter specific information again, and then you can pick a specific image here in the image ID area if you like, format it how you like, and then again hit save, and that will pop up the item onto the Math Trade Geek list. And that's all there is to it. You go through your entire collection, adding whatever games you like to the Math Trade, and then once the deadline is done, we'll move on to the next step, and maybe I'll make another little movie clip showing you how to go on to the next step.